Today I'm aboard the brand new Mini Cooper SE. It might look quite similar to the Mini you've grown used to, but it's actually an all-new car riding on an all-new platform with much more focus and emphasis on electrification. Interestingly, the pre-production example that I'm in right now is actually a Cooper SE, so it's an electric Cooper S, but with a John Cooper Works pack. Let me show you around the car and let me tell you all you need to know about this brand new Cooper SE. So this is the 4th generation Mini model since the BMW takeover, and it bears the internal designation J01. Its design does appear very similar to the outgoing model, the F55, especially if you see the car head-on. But if you shift your perspective to the side of the vehicle, the new model's different and better proportions reveal themselves. It's worth noting that the J01 electric Mini will be joined by a new internal combustion model, internally designated the F66, which will actually be an evolution of the current model launched way back in 2013. It will be the fuel-burning F66 that will continue to be built at the Oxford plant in the UK starting sometime in 2024, while the fully electric J01 will be exclusively manufactured in China thanks to a joint venture with Great Wall Motors. Mini has announced plans for a major overhaul of its Oxford plant, which should be complete by 2026, and it will make the facility compatible with EV production. Until then, though, all electric Mini models sold around the world will be exported from China. The model will be built on the Spotlight EV platform that BMW co-developed with Great Wall Motors. This platform will also be used to underpin another model called the Aceman, which is an indirect replacement for the Clubman wagon, but not the larger electric Countryman, which will share its mechanicals with the BMW iX1. There will be two distinct models sold alongside one another, and there will be some notable visual differences between them, at least based on what I've seen in the spy shots. The electric Mini will feature the new flush door handles like you've seen on the very latest BMWs, but no plastic cladding around the wheels. Spy photos of the refreshed Ice Mini show it retaining the more traditional door handles and the bolt-on over fenders of the current model, although it does get the new rear light design. The car I got to see at the special event organized by Mini Romania inside Bucharest's Museum of Immersive New Art was really cool because it previewed an electric John Cooper Works model. This is just going to be the highest trim level, but Mini has never made a JCW branded electric model before. The JCW's front bumper is more aggressive than what we've seen on other J01s that Mini has shown thus far, featuring a lower design and a prominent splitter. The side skirts also appear to be lower and wider, making the vehicle look sportier and more planted, while in the rear, the bumper is equally sporty with its squared-off design and prominent faux diffuser. Probably the most noticeable JCW design element is the rear roof-mounted spoiler. It looks like it was taken straight off a touring car, and it completely transforms the rear end of the Mini. I'm not sure how much they help with aerodynamics, but the small winglets that extend upward certainly make it look special and aggressive. The car's 18-inch wheels had JCW center caps, so it's safe to assume they will be exclusive to this spiciest of variants that will sit at the top of the electric Mini hatch lineup. The other trims are called Essential, Classic, and Flavored. It's also worth noting that with the next generation, the model will be known as the Mini Cooper, so Cooper will no longer just designate a specific variant. The ICE and electric models' interiors will be virtually identical, so they will be both dominated by a new and very slim 9.44-inch or 240mm circular OLED display. In the pre-production vehicle that I got to see, this wasn't yet functional, but it looks very spectacular and it will help make the Mini's interior feel cutting edge, almost futuristic. It will run Operating System 9, an all-new infotainment, which was developed by BMW based on the Android open source project software stack. I got to see it running, and it looks really good and it runs really smoothly. There is no display in front of the driver anymore, so all the information will be shown on the central screen. One thing I didn't like to see was the flippy-uppy head-up display, which I've never been a fan of. It just looks cheap compared to a HUD that's displayed directly on the windscreen, so I have to detract marks for the use of this less sophisticated solution in such a design-conscious avant-garde car. Mini plans to use a lot of knitted synthetic material in its new Cooper models. The pattern and style of knitted material will differ from trim to trim, and buyers will also be able to customize their Mini's interior in many ways, as you've come to expect from the brand. In the JCW example that I got to see, the knitted material was present on a strap that serves as the steering wheel's third prong. It was also all across the dashboard, where it featured a red checkered pattern and mood lighting, and it even extended onto the top of the door cards where it had a different texture. Materials in the cabin feel pretty good generally speaking, although the extensive use of the knitted material and the unique texture that it brings did take a bit of getting used to. The ambiance is quite different to what you may have experienced in older Minis, and I'm not sure the quality of the plastics is any better. In fact, I think it might be a bit worse. The J01's wheelbase has grown marginally compared to the outgoing model, from just under 2.5 meters to just over 2.5 meters, while the overall length has also increased by around 5 centimeters. Does this translate into more rear legroom than in the outgoing model? Well, in my experience, it felt just as cramped and unpleasant to sit back in one of these cars as it's always been. Although rear occupants are treated to more interesting design touches that should make traveling in the back of one of these more bearable. They even have dedicated phone holders molded into the plastic trim. Space in the trunk won't change much, so it will be around 200 liters or 800 liters if you fold down the rear seats. I don't think the JCW variant will get any more power compared to the standard SE model, which features a 214 horsepower motor that also makes 330 Newton meters or 243 pound-feet of torque, and it allows the car to sprint to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour from a standstill in 6.7 seconds. The base model will be known as the Mini Cooper E, and it will get an 181 horsepower motor with 290 Newton meters or 213 pound-feet of torque that will provide a more leisurely benchmark sprint time of 7.3 seconds. With the introduction of the Spotlight EV platform, Mini has also been able to increase the size of the Cooper's onboard battery pack from the current model's 32.6 kilowatt-hour gross capacity. In the base E model, it's a 40.7 kilowatt-hour pack capable of delivering a range of 305 kilometers or 189 miles WLTP, while the more powerful SE gets a 54.2 kilowatt-hour pack that bumps up the claimed range to 402 kilometers or 249 miles. The Cooper E will DC fast charge at a maximum of 75 kilowatts, while the Cooper SE will bump that up to 95 kilowatts. Both variants will be able to take up to 11 kilowatts of AC power. I'm really looking forward to driving the new Mini Cooper SE JCW, as I'm curious to see how the manufacturer has managed to imbue the top electric model with more fun than before. I think the current Cooper SE is the most affordable electric driver's car, and I hope the new model will continue that trend, even in spite of the fact that it's no longer built on a bespoke BMW platform. The new electric mini hatch will begin arriving in the second half of 2024.